Right now, more than 58 million Americans are in the direct path of a dangerous storm system, and most of them have no idea what is about to hit their city in the next 72 hours. I am talking about damaging winds that could reach 75 miles per hour, hailstones the size of baseballs, and tornadoes strong enough to level entire neighborhoods. And here is the part that should concern you the most. This system is not staying in one place. It is moving. It is expanding. And by the time you finish watching this forecast, you will know exactly when it arrives at your front door. But before I get into the full breakdown, let me make you a promise. In the next 30 seconds, I am going to tell you the single most important piece of information about this weekend's weather that could save your life or the life of someone you love. And at the 5-minute mark of this video, I am going to give you a city-by-city, hour-by-hour breakdown covering more than 270 locations across this country, so you know exactly what is heading your way. Do not skip ahead. Every minute of this forecast builds on the last, and the details in between could be the difference between being prepared and being caught off guard. Now, I want to be crystal clear about something before we go any further. I am not here to scare you. I am not here to sensationalize. I am here to prepare you. There is a massive difference between fear and awareness. Fear makes you freeze. Awareness makes you act. And by the end of this video, you are going to be the most prepared, most informed person on your entire street. Now, here is that critical piece of information I promised you. The Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk that is a level 3 out of 5 for a massive corridor stretching from North Texas through southwestern Iowa. That enhanced risk area includes Oklahoma City, Wichita, and Kansas City. When forecasters issue a level 3, it means they expect numerous severe storms with a high likelihood of producing damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes, some of which could be strong enough to earn an EF2 or EF3 rating. An EF3 tornado carries winds up to 165 miles per hour. That is strong enough to rip the roof off a well-built home and throw a car through the air like a toy. And if you are thinking, well, I do not live in Oklahoma or Kansas, so this does not affect me, hold on. Because that is exactly what people thought 2 days ago when tornadoes struck parts of Texas and Oklahoma in the middle of the night, in complete darkness. A mother and daughter were killed while driving in their car in northern Oklahoma. They did not see it coming. Nobody warned them in time. That is why this video exists. That is why I need you to stay with me for the next several minutes. Your state may not be in the enhanced risk zone, but this storm system is affecting weather patterns across all 50 states, and I am going to cover every single one of them. Now, let me walk you through the atmospheric setup that is making this storm system so dangerous. And I want you to pay close attention here because what is happening in the upper atmosphere right now is something we typically do not see until late April or May. This is an early season severe weather outbreak, and the ingredients are lining up in a way that has meteorologists across the country genuinely concerned. Let me explain why in plain English. Think of the atmosphere like a layer cake. Each layer has different winds, different temperatures, and different amounts of moisture. When those layers align in a certain way, you get ordinary thunderstorms. But when every single layer lines up perfectly, like tumblers in a lock clicking into place, you get the kind of supercell thunderstorms that produce violent tornadoes and catastrophic hail. Right now, every single layer is clicking into place over the central United States. At 30,000 feet, which is roughly the 300 millibar level, we have a powerful polar front jet stream diving south out of Alberta, Canada, plunging into Idaho, and then screaming across the western panhandles at 100 knots. That is about 115 miles per hour. That jet stream is the engine driving everything you are about to hear about. It is pulling cold Canadian air south at the same time that warm Gulf air is surging north, and where those two rivers of air collide is where the most violent weather will explode. But here's where it gets really interesting and honestly a little alarming. Drop down to the surface level and you will find dew points close to 70 degrees along the Gulf Coast. 70-degree dew points in early March. Let me put that in perspective for you. That is the kind of tropical moisture you normally see in June or July. That moisture is being pumped straight north by a low-level jet, a river of air at about 5,000 feet above the ground, pushing at 45 knots from Corpus Christi up through Victoria, through Oklahoma City, all the way to Kansas City. It is like a fire hose of warm, humid Gulf air being aimed directly at the cold front barreling in from the west. And when those two air masses collide, that is when things get violent. That is when ordinary thunderstorms turn into rotating supercells. That is when hail grows from the size of peas to the size of baseballs. That is when tornadoes drop from the sky. Now, do not go anywhere, because at the 3-minute and 20-second mark, I am going to show you something that most weather channels will not tell you. I am going to reveal the exact timing window when the strongest tornadoes are most likely to form tonight. And I am going to explain why nighttime tornadoes are statistically 2.5 to 3 times more deadly than daytime ones. The reason will surprise you, and it has nothing to do with wind speed. Stay with me. Let me break down what is happening at each level of the atmosphere, because this is what tells us how organized and dangerous these storms will be. I know this gets a little technical, but understanding these layers is how you understand why certain cities are at risk and others are not. At the 925 millibar level, roughly 2,500 feet above the ground, we are seeing 30 to 35 knot winds through Kansas. This is the lower portion of the low-level jet, and it is transporting specific humidity values of 12 grams per kilogram right over Texas. That is the richest moisture available anywhere in the country right now, and it is feeding straight into the storm zone. Move up to the 850 millibar level, about 5,000 feet, and the moisture axis becomes even clearer. The low-level jet is cranking at 45 knots, pulling that Gulf moisture on shore around Corpus Christi and Victoria, racing it north through Oklahoma City and into Kansas City. The 850 millibar cold front is slicing right through this moisture plume, and that boundary is where the most explosive storm development will occur. Here is the key thing to understand about that low-level jet. After dark tonight, it is going to strengthen even further. That strengthening jet is what maintains storm activity overnight, and that is the reason why the overnight hours are so dangerous tonight. Normally, thunderstorms weaken after sunset because the sun is no longer heating the ground. But when you have a powerful low-level jet like this, it overrides that normal process. It keeps feeding warm, moist air into the storms all night long. And that means the storm threat does not end at sunset. In some areas, the storms actually get stronger after dark. Now, here is the promised explanation about why nighttime tornadoes are so deadly. It is not because the tornadoes themselves are stronger at night. It is because you cannot see them. During the day, you can look out your window and spot a tornado miles away. You can see the rotation in the clouds. You can see the funnel dropping. At night, all of that is invisible. A tornado can be bearing down on your neighborhood, and you would never know it unless you have a warning system. That is why a weather radio is not optional tonight. It is essential. If you are in the storm zone and you do not have a weather radio, go buy one right now before the stores close. It could save your life. At the 700 millibar level, roughly 10,000 feet, we pick up shortwave energy in the lower part of the polar front jet. 40 to 50 knot winds are screaming across the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. This mid-level flow is what gives thunderstorms their rotation. It is what turns an ordinary storm into a supercell. And right now, that energy is concentrated directly over the areas where surface moisture is highest. Jump up to the 500 millibar level, about 18,000 feet, and we see 70 to 80 knot flow across the high plains. The vorticity patterns, those spinning areas shown in blue and red on weather maps, outline a channel jet focused right over northeastern New Mexico with a secondary maximum further upstream. This is the fuel injection system for tonight's severe weather. Now, here is the plot twist that caught my attention this morning and made me realize I needed to get this forecast out to you immediately. The temperature anomalies across this country right now are absolutely staggering. In the Midwest and parts of the East, temperatures are running 20 to 30 degrees above normal. Not 5 degrees, not 10 degrees, 20 to 30 degrees above where they should be in early March. If you were to guess what month it was based purely on the high temperatures in Kentucky, Virginia, and West Virginia, you would say it is the middle of summer. May temperatures are stretching across a huge chunk of the Midwest and southern states. Meanwhile, across the Rockies and the Southwest, it feels like January or February with snow piling up and wind chills in the single digits. That temperature contrast, that collision between unseasonable summer-like warmth and invading cold polar air is the fuel that powers these violent storms. And the contrast right now is extreme. The temperature difference between Louisville, Kentucky at 80 degrees and Fargo, North Dakota at 22 degrees is nearly 60 degrees. 60 degrees of temperature difference across the middle of the nation on the same day. That kind of gradient is explosive. Do not miss the next section because I am about to deliver on my promise. The city-by-city breakdown starts right now. And remember, at the 5-minute mark, I promised you a complete picture of what every major city in this country is facing. Here it comes. But first, let me give you one more piece of context that will help you understand the forecast for your specific city. The Storm Prediction Center uses a 5-level scale for severe weather risk. Level 1 is marginal, meaning isolated severe storms are possible. Level 2 is slight, meaning scattered severe storms are expected. Level 3 is enhanced, meaning numerous severe storms are expected, some of which could be intense. Level 4 is moderate, meaning widespread severe storms are expected with several intense and possibly long-lived events. Level 5 is high, meaning an outbreak of severe storms is expected with the potential for long-track violent tornadoes. Tonight, we are at Level 3 for the Central Plains. That is serious. That is not normal. That means forecasters have high confidence that multiple rounds of dangerous storms will impact these areas. If you are at Level 3 or higher, your evening plans need to include knowing exactly where you will take shelter. Now, something else I want to point out before we dive in. Look at the satellite imagery right now. Numerous cumulus and stratocumulus cloud layers are already building across the southern plains, streaming north from the Gulf of Mexico. That moisture is visible from space. The clouds are organizing along the dry line and near the surface boundaries. This is the visual confirmation of everything the atmospheric data is telling us. The stage is set. The curtain is about to rise on what could be the most significant severe weather event of 2026 so far. Let me begin with the area under the greatest threat today and tonight, the enhanced risk zone. This is where the most dangerous weather will occur in the next 24 hours. If you live in any of these cities, stop what you are doing and listen carefully. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Storms begin developing between 3 and 4 in the afternoon Central Time. Initially, you will see semi-discrete supercells forming near the Caprock Escarpment, which is that sharp terrain break in western Texas and the Oklahoma border. These initial storms will produce large to very large hail, potentially 2 to 3 inches in diameter. That is big enough to shatter a car windshield and cause serious injury to anyone caught outside. By 6 in the evening, low-level shear increases dramatically, and that is when the tornado threat ramps up significantly. The window for strong EF2 or greater tornadoes opens between 6 and 10 in the evening. After 10 at night, storms will consolidate into a squall line pushing northeast. Peak intensity for Oklahoma City is 7 to 9 in the evening. The system clears Oklahoma City by roughly 1 in the morning, but do not let your guard down until it has completely passed. Trailing storms behind the main line can sometimes produce surprise tornadoes. Wichita, Kansas. Storms arrive slightly earlier than Oklahoma City, between 2:30 and 3:30 in the afternoon. The Triple Point region, where the warm front, cold front, and dry line all intersect, will be near southern Kansas. This triple point is meteorologically significant because it is where supercells are most likely to develop first. Hail up to 3 inches possible, and these initial storms could be particularly nasty. Tornado threat highest between 5 and 9 in the evening. Damaging winds could gust to 75 miles per hour, even outside of any tornado. Storms push through by midnight. The temperature behind the cold front drops sharply, so expect it to feel like a completely different season by Saturday morning. Kansas City, Missouri. You are on the northern edge of the enhanced risk. Storms arrive between 7 and 9 in the evening, primarily as an organized squall line, which is a continuous band of thunderstorms stretching for hundreds of miles. The main threat is damaging straight-line winds, and let me tell you, straight-line winds at 75 miles per hour can cause just as much damage as a weak tornado. Embedded tornadoes within the line are also possible. The squall line should push through by 1 to 2 in the morning. Heavy rain follows behind the line, so if you have low-lying areas on your property, be aware of potential flash flooding. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Storm development begins by 4 in the afternoon to your west. Storms move into the Tulsa metro between 6 and 8 in the evening. Large hail and damaging winds are the primary threats, but a tornado or two cannot be ruled out, especially along the leading edge of the storm complex. Activity peaks between 7 and 10 in the evening and begins winding down after midnight. If you work evening shifts in Tulsa, make sure you have a plan for sheltering at your workplace. Norman, Oklahoma. Being just south of Oklahoma City, your timing is similar, but storms may arrive 15 to 20 minutes earlier. First storms between 2:30 and 3:30 in the afternoon. Tornado threat window from 5:30 to 9:30 in the evening. This is the heart of the enhanced risk zone. Norman is home to the National Weather Center, so if there is any place in America that takes tornado warnings seriously, it is Norman. Follow their lead tonight, Joplin, Missouri, and for those of you in Joplin, I know the word tornado carries extra weight in your city. The memory of 2011 is still fresh. Tonight's threat is not forecast to be at that catastrophic level, but storms arrive between 8 and 10 in the evening, primarily as organized clusters moving in from eastern Oklahoma. Damaging winds are the main concern. Activity continues through about 2 in the morning. Please have your plan ready. Springfield, Missouri. Expect storms to roll in between 9 in the evening and midnight. Heavy rain and gusty winds. Some storms may still carry hail. The Ozarks region is going to see significant rainfall tonight, and the terrain in this area can channel water into flash floods quickly. The worst should be over by 3 in the morning. Bentonville, Arkansas. Storms propagate into your area between 8 and 11 tonight. This is the northwest corner of Arkansas, and you will be on the receiving end of storm clusters moving out of Oklahoma. Heavy rain and gusty winds. Some cells could still be severe. Plan for a noisy night. Fayetteville, Arkansas. Similar timing to Bentonville. Storms between 8 in the evening and midnight. Heavy rain is the main concern. The University of Arkansas campus should be on alert. Fort Smith, Arkansas. Earlier timing for you between 7 and 10 tonight. You are closer to the Oklahoma border where storms organize first. Gusty winds and heavy rain. Brief tornado risk with the stronger cells. Now let me expand outward from that core zone. These next cities are in the slight risk or marginal risk areas, but they still face real threats tonight and tomorrow. Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. Here is something that just changed in the last model run, and this is exactly the kind of late-breaking update that makes real-time forecasting so critical. The newest data coming in suggests nocturnal storm development along the Red River, potentially moving south into the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex and points to the west. This activity is being maintained by that strengthening low-level jet I told you about earlier, the one that gets stronger after dark. For Dallas, the main storm window is tonight after 10 in the evening through about 4 in the morning Saturday. These are overnight storms, and I cannot stress enough how dangerous that is. You are asleep, you cannot hear a tornado coming, your weather radio is your only defense. Then a second round moves in Saturday afternoon south of Interstate 20, pushing through central Texas. Saturday afternoon storms arrive between 1 and 4 in the afternoon. Heavy rain with some severe potential. Fort Worth specifically, you may see storms slightly earlier than Dallas, arriving by 9:30 tonight. This is because the storm complex tends to approach from the west and northwest. Keep your weather radio on and your phone charged. Arlington, Texas. Right between Dallas and Fort Worth, you get the worst of both worlds timing-wise. Storms possible from 9:30 tonight through 4 in the morning. Stay alert. Denton, Texas. North of the metroplex, closer to the Red River activity. Storms could arrive as early as 8:30 tonight. Wind and heavy rain. Plano, Texas. Northeast suburb of Dallas. Storm window from 10 tonight through 3 in the morning. Some storms could be strong. Houston, Texas. The severe weather shifts toward you on Saturday. Storms move in Saturday afternoon between 2 and 5 in the evening. The Storm Prediction Center has flagged the Dallas to Houston to San Antonio corridor for large hail on Saturday. The main line pushes through Houston between 4 and 8 in the evening Saturday. Behind the line, scattered showers continue into Sunday morning. Total rainfall for the Houston area could reach 1 to 2 inches, which is manageable, but individual cells could drop heavier amounts in short periods. Watch for localized flooding, especially along Buffalo Bayou and Brays Bayou, San Antonio, Texas. Saturday is your day of concern. Storms arrive between 1 and 4 in the afternoon. Heavy rain is the primary threat, but some cells could produce large hail. The Riverwalk area could see brief, heavy downpours. Activity tapers off by 8 in the evening. Sunday looking much nicer. Austin, Texas. Similar to San Antonio, Saturday afternoon storms between 1 and 5 in the evening. Brief, heavy downpours, potential for hail along the Interstate 35 corridor. Clearing by evening. If you have outdoor plans Saturday, push them to Sunday. Corpus Christi, Texas. You are the source of all this moisture. Dew points near 70 degrees today. That Gulf of Mexico humidity is literally fueling the severe weather hundreds of miles to your north. Storms are less likely here, but heavy rain moves in Saturday evening, mild and muggy all weekend with temperatures near 80. It will feel like summer on the coast. Lubbock, Texas. Cold front pushes through tonight. Temperatures drop from the 70s today to the 40s Saturday. That is a 30-degree temperature swing in less than 12 hours. Some gusty winds tonight with the frontal passage up to 45 miles per hour. Dry and much cooler Saturday and Sunday. If you have sensitive plants outside, bring them in tonight. Amarillo, Texas. The cold side of the front reaches you first. Expect temperatures to plummet into the 30s tonight with wind gusts to 50 miles per hour, blowing dust possible ahead of the front this afternoon. Dry but very windy conditions Saturday. The Panhandle always gets hit hard by these frontal passages. El Paso, Texas. You are well west of the main action. Cool and dry this weekend, highs in the 50s Saturday, warming to the low 60s Sunday. Some gusty winds Friday evening, but nothing severe. Enjoy a quiet weekend. Now let me move to the southeast because this region is going to see the storm system roll through Saturday into Sunday. Do not skip this section because what happens in the southeast is going to surprise a lot of people who think this is just a plain storm. The truth is, by the time this system reaches the southeast, it may have weakened in terms of tornado potential, but the heavy rain threat actually increases. And for a region that can see flash flooding with relatively modest rainfall amounts due to the terrain and urban development, that is a serious concern. Also, I want to point out something remarkable about the southeast right now. The temperatures across this region are running 15 to 27 degrees above the early March average. The Weather Prediction Center specifically noted that highs will reach 80 to 85 degrees across the south and 75 to 79 degrees in the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Those numbers are more typical of late April or early May. The warmth is fueling instability that keeps storms energized even as they move away from the main jet stream support. So even though the southeast is in a lower risk category than the plains, do not let your guard down. Little Rock, Arkansas. Storms are already moving in tonight. Heavy rain and thunderstorms from late Friday evening through Saturday morning. The worst of it passes between midnight and 6 in the morning Saturday. Additional showers Saturday afternoon. Total rainfall could reach 2 to 3 inches and some areas could see even more. Flash flood watches may be issued. Stay off flooded roads. Remember, turn around, do not drown. Memphis, Tennessee. Storms arrive Saturday morning between 6 and 10 in the morning. Heavy rain, gusty winds, brief tornado threat with the squall line as it pushes through. The Memphis metro area is particularly vulnerable to squall line tornadoes because the flat terrain along the Mississippi River allows winds to accelerate. Clearing by Saturday evening. Behind the front, temperatures drop into the 50s. Nashville, Tennessee. The frontal system reaches you Saturday afternoon between noon and 4 in the evening. Mainly rain with embedded thunderstorms. Some storms could be strong with gusty winds to 50 miles per hour. If you are going to the honky-tonks on Broadway Saturday night, bring an umbrella for the afternoon, but the evening should be clearing up. Clearing Saturday night with temperatures dropping into the upper 40s. Birmingham, Alabama. Storms arrive Saturday evening between 5 and 9 in the evening. Heavy rain is the main threat. Brief, gusty winds possible with stronger cells. The Birmingham Metro sits in a valley that can funnel storms, so pay attention to your local National Weather Service office in Birmingham for any watches or warnings. Clearing Sunday morning, Atlanta, Georgia. Rain moves in Saturday night into Sunday morning. Most of the severe threat has diminished by the time it reaches Atlanta, which is good news. Expect 1 to 2 inches of rain. Some thunder possible, but nothing organized enough to cause serious concern. Clearing by Sunday afternoon. Temperatures warm into the mid-70s Sunday. A gorgeous second half of the weekend. Jackson, Mississippi. Saturday is your stormy day. The slight risk area extends here. Storms between 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. Low-end tornado potential in the southern Mississippi River Valley. Damaging winds are the primary concern with this passage. Heavy rain through Saturday evening. Total rainfall 1 to 2 inches. New Orleans, Louisiana. Rain and storms Saturday afternoon and evening. Some cells could be strong, but the severe risk is on the lower end for the Crescent City. Temperatures staying warm, near 80. Most activity wraps up by midnight Saturday. Sunday should be pleasant. Mobile, Alabama, similar to New Orleans. Storms Saturday evening through early Sunday. Heavy rain, gusty winds, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Watch for street flooding in low-lying areas along the coast. Tupelo, Mississippi. Saturday morning storms between 8 and noon, wind threat with the squall line. Be aware that Tupelo has a history of significant tornadoes, so take any warnings seriously. Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Storm Saturday afternoon, mainly heavy rain, lower severe risk than areas to the north, Meridian, Mississippi. Storm Saturday between 10 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. Gusty winds and heavy rain, clearing Saturday evening. Charlotte, North Carolina. The tail end of this system brings rain Sunday. Expect showers and a few thunderstorms Sunday afternoon. Nothing severe expected. Highs near 75. A very pleasant weekend overall until that Sunday rain. Raleigh, North Carolina. Light rain possible Sunday. Temperatures spring-like in the mid-70s. Enjoy Saturday because it will be the better of the 2 days. Asheville, North Carolina. Some rain Saturday evening into Sunday. Cooler in the mountains, upper 50s. The Blue Ridge will see fog Saturday morning. Tampa, Florida. Here is a surprise for you. Florida mostly stays dry this weekend. The frontal system does not quite make it into the peninsula, which is unusual. The upper-level ridge over the southeast is actually blocking the front from pushing that far south. Sunny and warm. Highs near 88 to 90. Fort Myers could touch 90 degrees, the warmest readings in the southeast today. If you are in Florida, this is a beach weekend. Miami, Florida. Sunny and warm all weekend. Highs near 85. East-southeast winds keeping it comfortable. Not much going on weather-wise through Monday. Perfect. Jacksonville, Florida. A few showers possible Sunday as the back edge of the system grazes northeast Florida, but mostly dry and warm. Highs in the low 80s. Orlando, Florida. Partly cloudy and warm. Highs near 85 Saturday and Sunday. Afternoon sea breeze showers possible Sunday, but nothing significant. Theme park weather looks great. Gainesville, Florida, similar to Orlando, warm and mostly dry. Upper 70s to low 80s. Sarasota, Florida, sunny and hot, near 90. Enjoy it. Now, here is something that I need you to hear before we move to the next region, and I'm going to repeat this because it is that important. If you are in the path of these storms tonight, particularly in the enhanced risk zone from North Texas through southwestern Iowa, please do 3 things before you go to bed tonight. Number 1, make sure your phone is charged and that emergency alerts are turned on. Go into your phone settings right now and verify this. Tornado warnings will sound on your cell phone through the wireless emergency alert system, but you need to have that feature activated. Some people turn it off because they find the alerts annoying. Tonight is not the night to have it off. Number 2, know where your safe room is. An interior room on the lowest floor of your home. A closet, a bathroom, anywhere away from windows. If you have a basement, that is your best option. If you live in a mobile home or manufactured housing, you need to have a plan to get to a sturdier structure before the storms arrive. Mobile homes provide almost no protection from a tornado. Number 3, consider getting a weather radio if you do not already have one. These are the most reliable way to receive weather warnings, especially at night when you are sleeping and cannot see what is happening outside. A weather radio will wake you up with a loud alarm if a warning is issued for your county. They cost about $30 to $40 and they last for years. It is the best investment you will ever make for your family's safety. Now drop a comment below right now telling me where you are watching from. I want to know your city and state so I can make sure the next video covers your area in even more detail. The more comments I get from your region, the more time I can dedicate to your specific forecast in the next update. And if you are watching from a small town that I did not mention, tell me the name and I will add it to the next forecast. Now let me move to the Northeast Corridor and Mid-Atlantic. A lot of people in this region think they are safe this weekend. And mostly you are right, but there are some things you need to know, especially about what is coming next week. Washington, District of Columbia, 54 degrees today, climbing into the low 60s Saturday. A frontal system stretches from the Atlantic into Virginia and into the southern Great Lakes. Some clouds and a slight chance of rain late Sunday into Monday. Overall, a pleasant weekend by Mid-Atlantic standards. The cherry blossoms along the tidal basin are going to love this warmth. New York City, 43 degrees today, warming to the mid-40s Saturday. Sunday brings a significant warm-up into the 50s with clouds increasing. Some rain possible Sunday night into Monday. But here is the headline for New York. By early next week, temperatures could surge into the low to mid-60s. That is 20 degrees above normal for early March. Central Park could see one of its warmest early March days on record. Enjoy it, but know that active weather may follow. Boston, Massachusetts, the coldest spot in the corridor today at 34 degrees. Winter weather advisories posted for eastern Maine for Saturday morning with mixed precipitation but little accumulation expected. It ends by 1 in the afternoon. Boston warms into the low 40s Saturday, then into the 50s Sunday. A dramatic temperature swing is coming next week that could put you near 60 degrees. After the winter you have had, that is going to feel tropical. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Similar to New York, mid-40s today, climbing to 50 Saturday. Sunday jumps into the upper 50s. Rain chances increase Sunday night. The warm-up next week could push you into the 60s. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here is where it gets interesting for western Pennsylvania. You are in the slight risk area for severe weather Saturday. That is right, severe weather potential in western Pennsylvania in early March. Storms move in Saturday afternoon between noon and 4 in the evening. The main threat is damaging wind, but there is a low-end tornado potential in the upper Ohio River Valley. Temperatures in the 60s Saturday, then dropping behind the cold front. This is the farthest northeast that the severe weather threat extends, Buffalo, New York. Also in that slight risk area for Saturday, storms possible Saturday afternoon into evening. Damaging winds are the primary concern. Temperatures surge into the 60s before the front arrives, which is remarkable for Buffalo in March. A dramatic cool-down follows Sunday. Hartford, Connecticut. Dry and mild this weekend. Highs in the upper 40s Saturday, low 50s Sunday. Rain chances return Monday. If you have been waiting for yard work weather, Saturday morning is your window. Providence, Rhode Island, similar to Hartford. Pleasant weekend with highs near 50. Clouds and rain Monday. The warming trend continues into next week. Stamford, Connecticut. Near 50 Saturday. Dry and pleasant. Good weekend for getting outside after a long winter. Bridgeport, Connecticut. Upper 40s Saturday. Dry. Clouds increase Sunday. Newark, New Jersey. Mid 40s today. Near 50 Saturday. 50s Sunday. A nice warming trend heading into next week. Some rain possible Monday. Jersey City, New Jersey, same as Newark. Mid-40s climbing through the weekend. The New York metro area is going to feel spring-like by Sunday. Atlantic City, New Jersey, near 50 today with an onshore breeze. Low 50s Saturday, some wind off the ocean. Baltimore, Maryland, low 50s today, warming into the mid-50s Saturday. Chance of rain Sunday evening. Nice weekend overall. The Inner Harbor is going to be pleasant Saturday afternoon. Richmond, Virginia, 70s today and Saturday. It feels like May in Virginia. Some rain possible Sunday. Enjoy the warmth while it lasts because cooler air returns next week. Norfolk, Virginia, near 80 today. That is 30 degrees above the March average. A few showers possible Sunday. Warm and breezy with onshore winds. Charleston, West Virginia. In the upper Ohio River Valley, the slight risk extends to your area for Saturday. Storms between noon and 6 in the evening. Brief damaging winds possible. Temperatures in the mid-70s, which is absolutely remarkable for early March. The temperature today in Charleston, West Virginia is higher than the temperature in Charleston, South Carolina in July of many years. Now let me shift to the Midwest because this region is caught right between the severe weather and the record warmth. It is an absolutely wild weather setup, and if you live in the Midwest, you are experiencing something truly unusual this week. Chicago, Illinois. Temperatures surging into the 60s and 70s south of the city today. The lakefront may be cooler due to Lake Michigan keeping temperatures in check, but head 20 miles inland and you are looking at summer-like readings. Storms possible Saturday as the cold front pushes through, mainly wind and rain, some thunder possible, clearing Sunday with cooler temperatures in the 50s. If you have outdoor plans this weekend, Saturday morning is your best window. Detroit, Michigan, fog advisories on Lake Michigan today. Temperatures in the 50s climbing to the 60s Saturday. Some rain and storms Saturday evening as the cold front pushes through. Clearing Sunday, the Detroit area may see gusty winds with the frontal passage up to 40 miles per hour. Indianapolis, Indiana, a sultry night tonight with temperatures staying in the 60s. That is unheard of for early March in Indianapolis. Normally, your overnight lows this time of year are in the upper 20s. Tonight, they will be 40 degrees warmer than normal. Storms arrive Saturday between 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. Gusty winds and heavy rain. Clearing Saturday night. Sunday cooler in the 50s. Columbus, Ohio. Upper Ohio River Valley. Severe weather. Slight risk applies here for Saturday. Storms between noon and 6 in the evening. Wind is the main threat with a low-end tornado chance. Temperatures near 70 before the front, which is absolutely insane for Columbus in March. Cincinnati, Ohio. In the warm sector all day today. Temperatures near 80, which is summer-like for this time of year. Your friends in Florida are not much warmer than you are today. Storms arrive Saturday morning to early afternoon. Heavy rain, gusty winds. Behind the front, a cool down to the 50s Sunday. Cleveland, Ohio. Overnight lows tonight staying in the 60s. Let me say that again. 60-degree overnight lows in Cleveland, Ohio in early March. That is the kind of number that makes meteorologists do a double take. Normally, your overnight lows are around 25 degrees this time of year. Tonight, more than double that. Storms Saturday, clearing by evening. Cool down begins Sunday, Toledo, Ohio. Same story as Cleveland. Remarkably warm tonight with 60s. Storms pass through Saturday, cooler and drier Sunday. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the northern edge of the storm activity. Some rain and thunder possible Saturday. Highs in the 50s, which is above average for Milwaukee. Cooler Sunday near 45. Minneapolis, Minnesota. You are dealing with a completely different kind of weather than everyone I just mentioned. While Cincinnati bakes at 80 degrees, you are looking at winter weather advisories from northern Nebraska into Minnesota. Mixed precipitation and up to 2 inches of snow tonight into Saturday morning. On the cold side of this system, temperatures in the 40s Saturday, which is actually still above normal for you. The snow moves through tonight into Saturday morning and ends by late Saturday, St. Paul, Minnesota. Same as Minneapolis. Mixed precipitation tonight, 40s Saturday. The Twin Cities Metro should see this system clear out by Saturday afternoon. Des Moines, Iowa, right on the boundary between the warm and cold sectors. Storms possible tonight into Saturday morning. Some could be severe with damaging winds. Behind the front, temperatures drop into the 50s Saturday afternoon, drying out Sunday. You are in an interesting position because Des Moines gets a taste of both the severe weather and the winter weather elements of this system. Omaha, Nebraska. Dew points in the 60s today, which is wild for Nebraska in March. That tells you just how much Gulf moisture has surged north. Storms tonight, some possibly severe. Cold front arrives late tonight. Saturday, much cooler in the 40s with gusty northwest winds. St. Louis, Missouri. Storms tonight through Saturday morning. Some could be strong with gusty winds. Heavy rain, 1 to 2 inches possible. The worst passes between midnight and 8 in the morning Saturday. Clearing Saturday afternoon. The Arch is going to see some lightning tonight. Kansas City area suburbs, Overland Park, Olathe, Lee S. Summit, Independence. You are all in the enhanced risk zone. Storms between 7 and midnight tonight. Have your plans ready now, not when the sirens go off. Know where your interior room is. Have shoes near your bed in case you need to move through debris. Have a flashlight ready because these storms will knock out power. Wichita area suburbs, Derby, Andover, Newton. Same enhanced risk applies. Andover, in particular, I know you remember the 2012 tornado. Tonight's setup has some similarities. Please take this seriously. Topeka area. The Kansas state capitol is right in the heart of the threat zone tonight. Government buildings downtown provide excellent shelter. Know where the safe rooms are in your workplace. Springfield, Illinois. 60s today. Storms possible Saturday morning. Mainly rain and wind. Nothing severe expected this far east of the main threat area. Peoria, Illinois. Similar to Springfield, mild today, storms Saturday morning, clearing by afternoon. Louisville, Kentucky. Warm today near 80 degrees. It literally feels like summer in Louisville. Derby weather in early March. Storms arrive Saturday morning between 8 and noon. Heavy rain, gusty winds. A few strong storms possible. Clearing by Saturday evening. Sunday much cooler in the 50s, Lexington, Kentucky. Similar to Louisville. Record-challenging warmth today, near 80. Storms Saturday morning through early afternoon. Back to more seasonal temperatures by Sunday. Evansville, Indiana, near 80 today. Storms Saturday morning, gusty winds and heavy rain. Clearing by afternoon. Fort Wayne, Indiana, mid-60s today. Storms Saturday between noon and 4 in the afternoon. Mainly rain and wind. South Bend, Indiana, low 60s today. Some rain and storms Saturday, near the edge of the slight risk area. Now stay with me because I have not forgotten about the Northern Plains, the Rockies, the Southwest, and the West Coast. This is where a completely different weather story is unfolding, and it involves winter storm warnings, high wind warnings, and some genuinely extreme conditions. If you live west of the Mississippi, the next few minutes are specifically for you, and honestly, some of what is happening in the West is just as remarkable as the severe weather in the plains, just in a completely different way. The North Atlantic Oscillation is going strongly positive right now. For those of you who are not weather nerds, let me explain what that means in practical terms. A positive North Atlantic Oscillation means strong, fast flow across the Atlantic Ocean. That pattern tends to pull Arctic air out of Canada and push it eastward across the ocean, rather than letting it spill south into the United States. The result is that much of the eastern two-thirds of the country stays warmer than normal, but the western third, particularly the Rockies and the northern tier, still gets hit by Pacific systems diving in from the Gulf of Alaska, where winds are approaching 200 knots at the jet stream level. That is why you can have 80-degree weather in Kentucky and a blizzard in Colorado on the same day. The northern plains and high plains are on the cold side of this massive storm system. While the Midwest bakes in record warmth, places like North Dakota are sitting in the teens, South Dakota in the 20s, and snow bands are stretching all the way into Colorado, Fargo, North Dakota. Highs today in the low 20s. Bitterly cold with northwest winds. Snow flurries possible. Temperatures moderate into the 30s Saturday, then 40s Sunday as the pattern shifts. Bismarck, North Dakota. Mid-20s today with wind chill in the teens. Light snow possible tonight. Warming trend begins Saturday. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Upper 20s today. Some mixed precipitation tonight. Warmer Saturday in the 40s. Rapid City, South Dakota. Cold and breezy today in the 30s. Some snow showers possible. Warming into the 50s by Sunday. Pierre, South Dakota. Low 30s today. Breezy. Warming into the 40s Saturday. Dry weekend. Grand Forks, North Dakota, teens today, brutally cold with wind chill near zero. The warm-up next week will feel like a miracle. Now to Colorado, where winter storm warnings are in effect. Denver, Colorado. Winter weather advisories for the Denver and Palmer Divide area. 2 to 4 inches of snow expected through early evening today, then it tapers off tonight. Highs today in the mid-30s. Saturday warms into the 40s as sunshine returns. Roads could be slippery through Saturday morning, especially on the Palmer Divide and through the foothills. If you are driving on Interstate 25 through the Denver Metro tonight, take it slow. Colorado Springs, Colorado. Winter storm warnings in the Front Range until midnight. 4 to 10 inches of snow, mostly above 9,000 feet. The city itself sees 2 to 4 inches. Cold tonight in the low 20s. Gradual warming Saturday and Sunday. Fort Collins, Colorado. 2 to 3 inches of snow today. Cold and breezy tonight, improving Saturday. By Sunday, temperatures rebound into the 50s, Boulder, Colorado. Similar to Denver, but higher snowfall amounts, 3 to 5 inches possible along the foothills. Cold tonight, beautiful sunshine returns Saturday, Pueblo, Colorado, near the southern edge of the snow. An inch or two possible. Cold tonight near 20. 50s by Saturday, Aspen, Colorado. Heavy snow in the high country, 6 to 10 inches above 9,000 feet. Great news for skiers. Cold tonight near 10 degrees. Gradually warming through the weekend. Grand Junction, Colorado. On the western slope, drier conditions but cold. Highs in the 40s today, 50s Saturday. Some wind. Now to the southwest. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Below freezing tonight, dropping to about 28 degrees. That Pacific front I mentioned earlier is bringing clouds and gusty winds. Highs today near 50. Saturday in the mid-50s. Sunday near 60. Dry but windy. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Colder than Albuquerque tonight, near 20 degrees. Some wind and a few snow flurries possible in the higher terrain. Highs Saturday in the upper 40s. Phoenix, Arizona. Pleasant and warm. Highs near 75 today, mid-70s this weekend. A few clouds Saturday, but no rain expected. Classic desert spring weather. Pool weather if you have one. Tucson, Arizona, similar to Phoenix, but a few degrees cooler. Low 70s this weekend. Dry and sunny. Las Vegas, Nevada. Wind advisories across all of southern Nevada, the Mojave Desert, and the Kingman area today, tonight, and tomorrow. North winds gusting to 45 miles per hour. That tells you cold polar air is pushing south. Highs today near 60, dropping to the mid-50s Saturday, then rebounding to the low 60s Sunday. If you are on the Strip this weekend, be prepared for gusty winds, especially tonight. Flagstaff, Arizona. Cold tonight, dropping into the teens. Some snow flurries possible in the higher terrain. Highs Saturday near 40, Sedona, Arizona. Low 60s today. Beautiful hiking weather. 50s Saturday with some wind. Salt Lake City, Utah. Winter weather advisories in the Utah mountains until 5 in the evening today with the outgoing system. Some snow in the Wasatch, great for the ski resorts. In the valley, highs in the low 40s today, rising to the upper 40s Saturday. Mostly cloudy. Boise, Idaho. The jet stream is diving right over you. Cool and breezy with highs near 45. Some mountain snow. Improving Sunday, Gallup, New Mexico. The coldest spot in the southwest tonight, down to 15 degrees. Bundle up if you are in the Four Corners region. Farmington drops to 20. Durango, Colorado near 15, now the West Coast. Here is what is happening from Seattle to San Diego. And let me tell you, the West Coast has its own dramatic story this weekend that has nothing to do with tornadoes, but everything to do with extreme wind and a massive temperature contrast from north to south. Los Angeles, California. High wind warnings in the San Gabriel Mountains until 3 in the afternoon Saturday for northeast winds gusting to 55 miles per hour. These are Santa Ana-type winds funneling through the mountain passes, and if you live in the foothills or canyons, you know how intense these can be. They can down trees, knock out power lines, and create dangerous fire weather conditions. Wind advisories are posted for all of the Los Angeles area except for the downtown to Long Beach and south on Interstate 5 corridor. Despite the wind, highs reaching 82 degrees tomorrow. That is beach weather in March. The contrast is striking. You could be sunbathing in Malibu while your relatives in Denver are shoveling snow. San Diego, California. Warm and mostly sunny. Highs near 75 today, upper 70s this weekend. Some gusty winds Friday evening from the same system driving the LA wind event, but not as severe. Otherwise beautiful. One of the best weekends of the year so far. San Francisco, California. Cooler than Southern California by about 20 degrees. Highs near 60 today, low 60s this weekend. A few clouds Saturday, dry through Monday. The Bay Area microclimate effect means it could be 55 in the city and 65 in the East Bay at the same time. Sacramento, California. Mild with highs near 65. A 1,037 millibar high-pressure system sitting off the California coast is keeping things stable. This high-pressure dome is actually the western anchor of the whole weather pattern. While the east has ridging and warmth and the plains have severe weather, the west coast high is quietly keeping California dry and pleasant. Oakland, California. Similar to San Francisco. Low 60s, pleasant weekend. San Jose, California. Low 60s today and this weekend. Dry and pleasant. Silicon Valley gets a nice weekend. Fresno, California. Sunny and mild. Highs near 65. Valley fog possible Saturday morning but burning off by mid-morning. The Central Valley fog has been less of an issue this late in the season, but cold overnight temperatures can still generate patchy fog. Bakersfield, California. Similar to Fresno. Low 70s possible by Sunday. Oil country gets a warm weekend. Santa Cruz, California. Near 60 today. Some coastal clouds Saturday morning. Portland, Oregon. Cool conditions with highs in the upper 40s to low 50s. Rain today continuing tonight. More rain coming Sunday. A typical early March pattern for the Pacific Northwest. The Cascades are seeing snow at higher elevations, which is great for the snowpack heading into summer. If you are driving over the mountain passes this weekend, carry chains and check road conditions before you go. Seattle, Washington. Low 50s today. Rain showers off and on throughout the day. More rain tonight and additional systems arriving Sunday. The good news is temperatures are running about 5 degrees above average for early March. The bad news is your umbrella is going to get a workout this weekend. But if you have lived in Seattle for any amount of time, rain in March is just another day. Enjoy the mild temperatures and know that longer days are right around the corner. Tacoma, Washington. Similar to Seattle. Upper 40s with periods of rain today and tonight. Friday evening could see the heaviest rainfall rates. A brief drier window Saturday afternoon before the next system arrives Sunday. Eugene, Oregon. Highs climbing into the low 60s Saturday. Pleasant for the Willamette Valley. Some rain Friday evening, drying out Saturday. Salem, Oregon. Similar to Eugene. Low 60s Saturday. Spokane, Washington. Colder than the west side. Highs in the low 40s today, upper 40s Saturday. Some mountain snow possible. Bozeman, Montana. High wind watch for central Montana. High plains Saturday and Sunday. West winds gusting 60 to 70 miles per hour. Gusts of 100 miles per hour are possible in the higher elevations of the Montana Rockies. Highs in the 30s today, Billings, Montana. Under that high wind watch as well, gusts to 60 miles per hour Saturday. Upper 30s today, Great Falls, Montana. Same high wind concerns, secure loose outdoor items, Missoula, Montana. Some snow possible in the Bitterroot Mountains, rain in the valleys. Highs near 40, Helena, Montana. Snow showers tonight, transitioning to wind Saturday. Cheyenne, Wyoming. Cold and windy. Mid-30s today, some snow. High winds Saturday with gusts to 50 miles per hour. Casper, Wyoming. Near freezing today. Wind picks up Saturday. Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Snow in the mountains. Cold tonight near 10 degrees. Great skiing this weekend. Rock Springs, Wyoming. Cold. Near 30 today. Teens tonight. Very windy Saturday. Idaho Falls, Idaho. Near 40 today. Some mountain snow. Gradual warming Sunday, Twin Falls, Idaho. Low 40s today, dry but windy. Reno, Nevada, near 50 today. 50s this weekend. Dry, Carson City, Nevada, similar to Reno. Low 50s, dry and breezy. Provo, Utah. Low 40s today. Some mountain snow in the Wasatch. St. George, Utah, the warm spot in Utah, near 65 today. Low 70s by Sunday. Moab, Utah, near 50 today. Gorgeous hiking weather Saturday in the mid-50s. Santa Barbara, California, near 70 today. Gorgeous weekend ahead. Palm Springs, California, warm, near 80 today. Could touch 85 by Sunday. Redding, California, near 60 today. Some clouds, a few showers possible Sunday. Medford, Oregon, low 50s. Some rain Friday evening. Bend, Oregon, near 45 today. Some mountain snow. Olympia, Washington. Upper 40s, rain today and tonight. Bellingham, Washington, near 50. Some rain. Anchorage, Alaska. For those of you up north, and I know I have loyal viewers in the last frontier, winter storm warnings are in effect across the southern part of Alaska. Warnings specifically on the western Kenai Peninsula where heavy snow is expected, near zero in the interior. It gets progressively colder as you approach the Brooks Range, where minus 20 to minus 30 is common this time of year. The Gulf of Alaska is extremely stormy right now, with powerful low-pressure systems churning up massive seas. If you are on the coast, be aware of potential coastal flooding and high surf. Fairbanks, Alaska, well below zero, minus 10 to minus 20. Classic early March interior Alaska. The good news is the days are getting noticeably longer. You are gaining about 7 minutes of daylight per day now, which means the long winter darkness is finally starting to recede. Juneau, Alaska, near 30 with some snow. Winter weather advisories in effect. The Panhandle gets the milder maritime influence, but the precipitation makes up for it. Sitka, Alaska, similar to Juneau. Snow and rain mix near 30, Honolulu, Hawaii. And for those of you in the islands, a relatively benign period continues through the weekend. High pressure sitting northeast of the islands keeps things stable. Breezy east-southeasterly winds. A few showers along the windward slopes of the Big Island and Maui. Otherwise, expect plenty of sunshine. Highs near 80. Beautiful. But looking ahead to next week, low-level winds are forecast to veer more southerly and strengthen by Monday or Tuesday as a deep layer trough gradually approaches from the west. That could bring a wetter and more unsettled pattern by the middle of next week for the islands, with the threat for heavy rainfall and thunderstorms increasing. I will cover that in more detail in my next forecast. Maui, Hawaii. Showers on the windward side, dry and pleasant on the leeward side, highs near 82. Perfect vacation weather. Kona, Hawaii. Mostly sunny and warm, near 83. The dry side of the Big Island lives up to its reputation this weekend. Now let me give you the national timeline one more time because this is the most important takeaway from this entire forecast. I am going to break it down hour by hour so you know exactly when to be on alert no matter where you live. Friday 5 in the afternoon Central Time through Friday 10 in the evening. This is the initial supercell phase across western Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle border, and southern Kansas. The most photogenic and potentially dangerous tornadoes are most likely during this window. The atmosphere is primed for large, long-track tornadoes. If you are in this zone, you need to be in your safe room before these storms arrive, not scrambling when the warning sounds. Friday 10 in the evening through Saturday 2 in the morning. The storms consolidate into a squall line and push northeast through eastern Oklahoma, the Ozarks, and into Missouri. The tornado threat shifts to embedded spin-ups within the line. These are harder to warn for because they form quickly along the leading edge. Damaging straight-line winds become the dominant threat. Heavy rain starts accumulating. Flash flooding becomes a secondary concern. Saturday 2 in the morning through Saturday 8 in the morning. Overnight storms affect Arkansas, the Ozarks, and begin reaching the lower Mississippi Valley. This is the phase driven by the strengthening low-level jet. Storm intensity may actually increase in some areas despite the overnight timing. Rain becomes very heavy. Total accumulations start reaching 1 to 2 inches across wide areas. The nocturnal tornado threat remains real but diminishes compared to the evening. Saturday 8 in the morning through Saturday 4 in the evening, the frontal system pushes through the Ohio Valley, the Mid-South, and reaches into western Pennsylvania and western New York. This is when the slight risk areas come into play. Storms are less organized but still capable of producing damaging winds and isolated tornadoes. Heavy rain is widespread. Flash flooding is possible where rain falls on already saturated ground. Saturday 4 in the evening through Sunday 6 in the morning. The system weakens as it pushes into the southeast and mid-Atlantic. Mainly rain at this point with a few strong thunderstorms. The severe threat diminishes to marginal. Behind the system, much cooler air filters into the central states, and you can practically feel the season changing back to winter for a day or two. Sunday through Monday, the system exits off the East Coast. Lingering showers in New England and the Carolinas. Cooler air settles in across the central states. A brief return to near normal temperatures for most of the country east of the Rockies. Now here is the part you absolutely cannot miss. And this is why you need to subscribe and turn on notifications right now. Next week's weather could be even more impactful than this weekend. That Baja cutoff low I mentioned is the wild card. Let me explain what a cutoff low is because understanding this will help you understand why forecasters are nervous about next week. A cutoff low is a pocket of cold air that gets pinched off from the main jet stream and sits over one area for days. It is like a spinning top of energy that refuses to move. And when one of these sets up near the Gulf of Mexico, it can pump moisture northward for days on end, producing round after round of heavy rain over the same areas. The computer models right now are struggling with exactly how this system evolves. Some models eject it northeast into Texas and Arkansas by Tuesday. Others keep it spinning over Mexico into Wednesday. The difference matters enormously because if it ejects fast, we get one quick round of storms. If it lingers and merges with the northern stream jet, we could be looking at a multi-day heavy rain and flooding event from the south central to east central United States. The Weather Prediction Center has already flagged this scenario. We could see widespread rainfall totals of 3 to 5 inches, with locally higher amounts approaching 6 to 8 inches in training thunderstorm situations. And here is the thing that really concerns me. The ground across Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and parts of the Ohio Valley is about to get soaked this weekend. If we then turn around and dump another 3 to 5 inches on top of that next week, we are talking about significant river flooding potential. This is the kind of setup that puts smaller rivers and creeks over their banks and turns normally dry retention ponds into lakes. Additionally, there is another Pacific system moving through the northern tier states late next week. This could bring more mountain snow to the Rockies and another round of wind and rain to the Pacific Northwest. Montana's high wind problems may not be over after this weekend. And then looking further out, around mid-March, another large Pacific system appears to be in the cards that could affect the western half of the country. The message here is clear. March 2026 is going to be an active month for weather across the United States. The transition from La Nina toward neutral conditions is fueling a very dynamic pattern. We are seeing record warmth clashing with winter cold, which is the recipe for severe weather. This is not going to be a quiet spring. And I am going to be here covering every single system, every single outbreak, every single storm that threatens your community. Let me also give you a few more cities I want to make sure I cover before wrapping up. Terre Haute, Indiana, near 75 today. Storms Saturday morning, gusty winds, clearing by afternoon. Bloomington, Indiana, low 70s today. Rain and storms Saturday between 9 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. Behind the front, 50s. Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, near 65 today. Some rain Saturday morning, clearing by noon, cooler Sunday. Decatur, Illinois, similar to Champaign, mid-60s today, rain Saturday morning, nice Sunday. Bowling Green, Kentucky, near 80 today. Storms Saturday morning, heavy rain and gusty winds. This area could see some of the higher rainfall totals, 1 to 2 inches. Paducah, Kentucky, near 80 today. At the confluence of the Ohio and Tennessee rivers, flooding is always a concern when heavy rain arrives. Storms Saturday morning through early afternoon. Heavy rain, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, near 75 today. Storms tonight through Saturday morning. Heavy rain, 1 to 2 inches. Some storms could still be strong overnight. Jonesboro, Arkansas, storms tonight between 9 and 2 in the morning. Heavy rain and gusty winds. Pine Bluff, Arkansas, storms tonight through Saturday morning. Heavy rain, 1 to 2 inches. Hot Springs, Arkansas, similar timing. Storms tonight and Saturday morning. Heavy rain, Dothan, Alabama. Saturday afternoon storms. Mainly rain, upper 70s, Valdosta, Georgia. Some showers Saturday evening, warm in the upper 70s. Macon, Georgia. Showers Saturday night, mid-70s, nothing severe. Augusta, Georgia. Some rain Sunday, mid-70s, pleasant Saturday. Tallahassee, Florida. Some showers possible Sunday, mostly warm and dry weekend. Upper 70s, Pensacola, Florida, on the edge. Some storms Saturday night into Sunday morning, mainly rain. Warm in the upper 70s, Biloxi, Mississippi, storms Saturday afternoon and evening. Heavy rain, 1 to 2 inches, warm near 80. Gulfport, Mississippi, same as Biloxi. Saturday afternoon and evening storms, warm and humid. And now here is one more thing I need you to know. This weekend is daylight saving time. Saturday night, set your clocks ahead 1 hour. You spring forward, which means you lose an hour of sleep. So if you normally wake up at 7 in the morning Sunday, your body will think it is 6. Plan accordingly, especially if you are in the storm zone and already losing sleep tonight because of severe weather. Your body is going to want that extra hour back. Be patient with yourself Sunday morning. Now, before I go, here is what I need from you. And I am serious about this because your participation makes these forecasts better for everyone. First, if you found this forecast helpful, share it with someone in the storm zone tonight. Text it to your mother in Oklahoma City. Send it to your college kid at Kansas State. Forward it to your neighbor in Dallas who might be asleep when those storms roll through at 2 in the morning. Information saves lives, and a 30-second text message could be the thing that gets someone into their safe room before a tornado hits. You have the power to protect the people you care about just by sharing this video. Second, drop a comment right now with your city and state. I read every single comment, and I use your location data to shape every forecast. The more I hear from you, the better I can serve your area. If you are watching from a small town I did not mention, tell me. I will make sure you are included next time. If you are watching from one of the 270-plus cities I did cover, let me know if the timing and details matched what you experienced. Your feedback makes me a better forecaster. This is not a one-way street. We are building a community of weather-aware Americans who look out for each other. Third, make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. My next video is going to be a deep dive into that Baja cutoff low and what it means for a potential multi-day flooding event across the south-central United States. We could be looking at 4 to 6 inches of rain in some areas by next Thursday. And in some spots where thunderstorms train over the same location, we could see 6 to 8 inches. That is a developing story that nobody else is covering yet, and I will have the full breakdown with city-by-city timing and rainfall totals. You are going to want to see that forecast before anyone else does, and here is a teaser for you. In Monday's video, I am also going to break down the La Nina to neutral transition and what it means for the rest of spring 2026. Are we heading for an above-normal tornado season? The data is pointing in a very specific direction, and what I am seeing in the long-range models is going to surprise a lot of people. Make sure you do not miss that breakdown. Stay safe tonight, America. Keep your weather radios on, know your plan, charge your phones, tell your family you love them, and remember, the most dangerous thing you can do in severe weather is assume it will not happen to you. It can. It does. And being prepared takes